In this video, I'm going to unbox and assemble the Paulk Smart Bench, but not any Paulk Smart Bench. This is the Paulk Smart Bench built with the ultralight hex. So let's get started. Putting the straps on the sawhorses to keep them from spreading apart is a throwback. In fact, the slots are already on the sawhorses. They're legacy slots left over that we haven't been using. But I've gone back to doing this. I've retrofit all of my sawhorses, and I have extra sawhorses as well. I like this because they still work well with the cart and with the spreader shelf, but they allow me to use the sawhorses as standalone sawhorses. I have extra sets of them as well. They're great sawhorses for that kind of thing, for stacking trims and things. So I'd recommend you do it. I'll put some of the strap that I use in the description of this video, just so you'll know what I use. The Paulk Smart Bench in the hex material is 71.5 pounds. The Paulk Smart Bench in ultralight is 67.9, let's call it 68. So the Paulk Smart Bench in ultralight is 68 versus 71.5. In addition to the hour of the assembly, there's about an hour for detailing. The chamfering of the 20mm holes is really not optional. It doesn't take much, but that allows all of these various dogs, like the power lock, essential with the Smart Woodshop system. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I recommend 20 of these for the entire system. If you have everything set up at once, I have 18 to 20 of these in use. They need to drop below the surface, and the more the chamfer you put in, the further they drop down. It doesn't take much. Use the same chamfer to do all of your edges. The bottom side, do the sides, the spreaders, and it's best to do everything pre-assembly. So maybe you don't have to do the holes, you can wait on those. And you could do the outside of the bench the way I did after the fact, but it's difficult to get inside to do the underside of these or the sides and the spreaders. You want to do the insides of all of those. So I just highly recommend just go ahead, take your time. Once you unbox it, take each piece and go ahead and chamfer it. Just know which things to chamfer, because it's not everything. Like, you don't want to do these edges here. If you did, it wouldn't hurt, but they're designed to kind of snug up. And then these edges here, but the insides of these cutouts, inside and then the outside, and then the outside edge of the bench top and the outside edge of the bench bottom. And again, if you think about it, you can do like I did and do the spreaders inside and out, and then do the sawhorses inside and out. Definitely want to do those. There's more on those than really anything else. And then the shelf, both sides. And then all of the little drop-ins, like where the sawhorses go on the top and the bottom. But if you get all of those, you can then assemble it and hit this top edge and bottom edge, and then do your chamfers all at once, because there's easy access to that. But you just play it by ear. However, you might do part one way and part the other, just so you don't get bored. All of the screws you need are provided. I recommend using a little countersink taper bit like this. The holes are already pre-drilled, but if you go ahead and, after you've got it assembled, put together with the glue, and you're ready to put the screws in, if you go ahead in the first couple, and if you saw me in the assembly, I got the bench all kind of squared up and everything flush with a few screws on the edges and kind of in the middle. And then I went back and did all the rest. But as you go, if you drop this in and just barely touch that chamfer just a little bit, then the screw head is going to sit just a little bit below the surface. I didn't countersink all of the holes, and most of them, they went in just fine. But I did notice a couple of them on the edges kind of mashed the hex out a little bit. So if you want it to be real, not anything going to hurt structure, but that's aesthetic. And I'd say one of the reasons for the hex is you like the aesthetics, because there's no qualitative difference in the materials, in my opinion. This one does have a grippy surface, and this may be really handy, and I'll explain why in future videos as I start to use it. But I have a thought about how this kind of grippy, sandpapery surface might actually be real handy for the way I work. One other thing to take note of, it is dark, and then you have the light material beneath, so when you do these routing over and you see the edges, it's really contrasty, which I think is kind of the eye appeal. It's what draws your eye to it. But because of that, any chipping or anything
it's going to be very visible. When I was assembling it, I chipped this spreader. It was not like that when I took it out of the box. And I have kind of played with it and pushed on with my fingernail and with the chisel. And that's very, very tight. So it wasn't like a loose lamination. I think just me flipping the bench over back and forth, I must have caught it and ripped it off. It doesn't really bother me, but I think it'd be a pretty easy fix. I could put a little wood filler in there and then put a little dark stain on it. Or if I didn't want to bother with too much and I just wanted to get it out of my memory, I could just take a marker and just kind of fill it in. And again, if I wanted it flush, I could put a little wood filler on first and then take a marker. And then if I chipped any out like here, when I was routing, I could just come across with that. And this one here is one of them that I chipped out because I didn't pre-drill it. I can just take my marker, put it over there. And again, these are all aesthetic things, but if that's really important to you, and I like my tools to look good and be presentable as well. The standard version, I've banged that around and I'm sure that it is all chipped up, but you just don't see it because it's just the plywood color, the patina of the plywood. And this one here, this one is 7 years old. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, this thing has been hauled and shipped. It's been from here to Florida and back and on a lot of job sites and set up and taken down more than all the other benches together. And if you look at it closely, edges are kind of ripped off. If this were the dark material, you'd see all of those things. It's one of the things to think about when you are ordering the hex. It is just drop dead gorgeous. It's beautiful, but it is a tool and it's meant to be portable. And so I'm going to be lifting it up, setting it on the floor, putting it on the cart, moving it into the Smart Woodshop, taking it to the job sites. It's going to get banged around. So I'm definitely going to chip this up. And so I have to be comfortable with that. Again, not that it's going to be any different than the other benches. It's just going to be a little more visible because of this contrast. At the time of filming this video, the availability of the hex bench for sale has only been a couple of days, but we had to pre-order them and get them shipped. So we had to figure out the mix of sales of the hex versus the ultra. And because the hex costs a bit more because the material is a lot more expensive, we weren't sure, but in just a few days that it's been up, the hex is actually outselling the ultra. So this may go out of stock sooner than the ultra does. We'll see in the next week or two exactly what the ratios are. So when we put in our next order, we'll know what ratios to get. If you do want the hex and you go to order it and it's out of stock, but you want it, then go ahead and pre-order it so we'll know how many to get. We don't want to do like a 50-50 split and then have, 75% of the people that want to buy want this one and then they're not available. Not good for us, not good for you. So again, if you want it and it happens to be sold out, then go ahead and pre-order it. Those that are jumping into the Smart Bench and the whole Smart system, you know that my benches are all on the Smart Cart. This bench will fit on the Smart Cart. You'd have to get the plans and build it yourself. But once you do, this bench will fit right in it. The horses and all are exactly the same. In the description of this video, I'll put a link so you can go and purchase one of these ready to assemble benches and have it shipped directly to your door. Additionally, there'll be a link to all of the Smart Woodshop plans. You can go and purchase plans to build your own Smart Bench, Smart Station, any of the dozen or so smart tools that work with the system, including the cart and the crosscut sled, but also the Smart Woodshop itself. If you go to that link and you purchase plans, You'll get a link to download those plans in a matter of just a couple minutes. Mahalo for hanging out with me in the Smart Woodshop.